Assalamualaikum and hello to everyone. I'm Helmi Sari from HSC Engineering Sdn Bhd. And today I will be giving a course training for responsibility metrics for a typical ISO 9001, 14001 and 18001 documentation. This will be a walkthrough explanation. First of all, I would like to let everyone know about the purpose of this metrics of walkthrough. Is to brief all the project staff on their roles and responsibility with regards to quality documentation after the project is awarded until completion. This will be a metric for guidelines for project staff on the project to fully understand the quality management documentation required for ISO 9001, 14001 and OHSAS 18001 compliance. This document can be used as a reminder to all the site staff on the related documentation based on their position and their job scope. And this will be a document flow guidelines. We will have a brief walkthrough in the beginning and we will have a detailed explanation later in this presentation. This is a brief walkthrough showing what is the responsibility metric will be look like. It covers the 3 pages of responsibility metric, and in the end we will have a bonus section for all of our viewers here. First section will be the ISO 9001 documentation metrics of responsibilities. As I brief through, let me first explain what is the items that is available in this responsibility metric. At the top part here, we'll be showing the company that is using this responsibility metrics, where is the project will be, and what is the document title. At the top here will be a legend, which will be showing the color for each of the responsibility metric. Over here, the ISO 9001 will be colored in blue. The 14001 ISO will be colored in yellow, 18001 will be in green, and we will have a section D. This is for the administrative documentation, which is not related to the ISO documentation. And on top here also we are having the legend, and for the abbreviation used in this responsibility metric table. We will have here all the site staff abbreviation in short form, showing in order for us to clearly easy to identify for each of the documentation who is the responsible parties. The first on the left side here, on the top of the column we will have the first is the item, the secondly is the documents and the task description, and we will be showing the update frequency, and we will show who is the document and task ownership. Furthermore, in this responsibility metric, we will have another abbreviation on the responsibility. R is mentioned as R, V is verify, A is approve, F is for filing, and I is for info. As I brief through this document, I hope that the viewers will understand further. The first here is, as you can see in the blue color, is the ISO 9001 document. ISO 9001 is the quality management system. On the left, the first A1 item is the site diary. As we can show here, this site diary will need to be updated daily. And the person who is responsible to do the site diary here is the site supervisor or the senior site supervisor. There are some areas where normally in the project site, the job or the section or the zoning of the area responsible by the site supervisor. So he have to do the site diary for that particular area. And this will be verified by the site agent. As you can see, SA is site agent, and also it need to be verified by the construction manager and finally approved by the project manager. This has to be done daily. However, this document will be useful for the project manager to monitor all the documentation that is required in order to comply with the ISO 9001. Second item is the same, and the A3 and A4 also is the same, where you can see the responsible party for the site diary MNE will be done by the MNE site supervisor, and it will be verified by site agent or construction manager and be approved by the project manager. This is a typical responsibility metric for a normal construction company that can be used. And some of the organizations, some of the company may not be having all this such stuff in their organization. However, this will be a good reference for them. As you go further down, we go to item by item. We can see here the next item will be the document transmittal form, master drawing list register update, shop drawing list register update, and the CNS, MNE, and architecture request for inspection reference number. This document will be fully responsible by the DC document controller or the admin. And next, so when the document controller is mentioned here as to be fully responsible, so he will be the person in charge entirely for the document and will be the point of reference. Next, item A10, we will have the CNS request for inspection form. As you can see, the project engineer or the project architect or the QAQC engineer will be the person who responsible alongside the site supervisor and the senior site supervisor. And this document, before it is, after it is filled by the senior site supervisor and the engineer, they will take this document to the site agent and the construction manager or the construction manager to be verified. And after that, this document will go to the external party, which is the approving consultant or the client representative. Next, all this RFI, once is approved, it is to be done update anytime, and the compilation and the summary of this RFI will be done by the project engineer. However, as you can see, the reference number for all these documents will be taken by the document controller here. Okay, the summary once is done by the project engineer or project architect, it will be given to the project manager for information every week, and it will also be passed to the site QS for his information every week. And all these RFI request for inspection will then be filed by the document controller, which means here for filing, all the hard copy filing will be done by the document controller. The same method, the same way also will be done for item A13, A14 and A15. This is for the MNE. The only difference is it will be the person responsible will be by the MNE site supervisor and will be get the approval from the site agent and the MNE manager or the construction manager. And the approval also will be done by the external consultant or client representative or the external checker. Same goes to item A6, A17 and A18. For item A19, Any incoming or outgoing letter at site here will be registered and filing by the document controller or admin. This will be done regularly or weekly. And also normally at site, we will receive a client or consultant site memo. So the person responsibility to receive is by the project manager, who will be the person responsible to give the information, to delegate the information to the document controller, and to delegate further to all the related site staff to take the action. So here at the remarks here, we can see PM is to delegate to the site staff. Next, all these site memo will be, we need to do a summary for all these site memo received, and the summary will be done by the project planner, and the info will be forwarded to the site QS for the summary, and the filing will be done by the document controller. Same, just now is site memo. Item A22 is the NCR, the non-conformal report. It will be the person who will receive, first person to receive it is the project manager, and the info will be given to the project director, and the project manager will pass to the document controller for the document controller to delegate to the staff, which is mentioned by the project manager. When it's delegate, then it's come with action by the respective site staff. Next, the A23, all this NCR will be summarized into a table, and the responsible person is the project planner, and it will pass to the QS as info, and it will be passed to the document controller for filing. And then item A24 is the request for information to consultant and client. The person responsible to issue the request for information is either project engineer, site supervisor, or senior site supervisor. Before it's released, it will be verified by site agent or M&E manager or construction manager. Either one of them or all three of them need to verify before it is passed to the client and consultant, and the project manager will be kept in the loop for information on what is the information request from the client or the consultant. And all these requests for information, the project engineer also is responsible to do the summary, and the filing of this request for information will be done by the document controller. And also at site, there is a site memo that will be given to the subcontractor. The person who are able to responsible to give the site memo is the safety officer, safety manager, or the project engineer, or the senior site supervisor, site agent. These are 5 persons that can give the site memo directly to the subcontractor. However, need to be verified first by the respective manager, including the project manager, before it is passed to the document controller to issue to the subcontractor, and also to be filed into the document archive. And the summary also need to be done bi-weekly on all these site memo issued to subcontractor, and the person responsible to do the summary for all these site memo is the project planner, and it will be filed by the project document controller, and it will be given to the site QS and the project manager as information. Any NCR issued to subcontractor, the person that is responsible to issue the NCR, the non-conformance report, is the project engineer, project architect, or the QA/QC engineer, along with the senior site supervisor, and it will be verified by site agent or M&E manager or the construction manager before it's approved by the project manager and given to the document controller to issue to the subcontractor. The project director here is keep in the loop for information, And the summary will be done by the project planner, and we pass the info to QS, project manager and project director on the summary of the NCR issued every week, and it will be given back to DCC for filing. Next, I wish is about the another still in ISO 9001. We have the material sample submission to consultant, which is be done at any time. Person responsible to do the material submission is the M&E site supervisor and also the project engineer to do the submission of the material to be approved. This submission will be verified by the managers before it is issued to external for approval. And the DCC here will do the filing. The material and sample submission summary will be done by the project engineer or the QAQC engineer and will be info to all parties for information. What is the status, whether it has been approved or still under review by the consultant. So this will be done weekly. And then for filing of this material submission will be done by the document controller. The same things also will be done for the work method statement issued to the consultant. As you can see here, is the similar. Only and also for item A35, A36, and A37. I'm sorry, A34, A35, and A36 here, it is the same as per the previous item. I will go through to the concrete cube test witness. It will be done by the project engineer and or the QAQC engineer. Also, along with the site supervisor, also can witness the cube test or the senior site supervisor, whoever is available at that time. And the site agent and the construction manager is informed. And the cube test result compilation will be done by the project engineer or the QAQC engineer and will be filed by the DCC. The cube test, the concrete delivery report will be done by the project engineer and it will be verified by the site agent and the construction manager. The rebar DO, delivery notes or the delivery order received and verified, it will be done by the project engineer or the site supervisor or the senior site supervisor or by the site agent. And this DO will be checked thoroughly and they will sign on the DO and they will pass to the construction manager the DO to verify at any time, and the project manager is also keep in the loop as information. The compilation of this DO item A39 will be done by the DCC and admin, and this compilation will be forwarded as info to the senior QS, to the site QS. The main certificate also receive the same person responsible and verified, and the compilation also will be done by the document controller, the DC. The material requisition form can be issued by any of the person here for either the site agent, the senior site supervisor, the site supervisor, project engineer, safety manager, safety officer, or the safety site supervisor, including the M&E site supervisor. These are the person who can request for material. And this request for material, or also called as the material requisition form, will be verified by the construction manager before it's approved by the project manager. And once it is approved, it will be given back to the document controller for filing and distribution to the site QS. And this material requisition summary will be responsible by the QS to do a summary on all the material requisition issued to HQ to purchase and will be filed by the DC. And the purchase order record, whatever the PO purchase order issued, is responsible of the site QS to compile and make a proper record, and this will be filed by the DCC. Materials DO receive, this will be received and verified by the supervisors, either the M&E supervisors or the site supervisors or the senior site supervisor or the site agent. And this material delivery notes compilation will be done by the site supervisor, by the DCC, and info for the site QS. Next, the material stock record will be done by the site supervisors and also by the DCC. They have to key in the stock record that is received on site, and the info will be given to the site QS. However, nowadays for this material purchase and the purchase order, there are so many other application and software available in the market, where nowadays many construction company have used them. So there is no more using the paper document. Now they are going for digital documentation. Okay, next item A48, which is the weather chart for progress report. Whatever the item that is normally required for the progress report, such as weather chart, manpower chart, machinery chart, and the executive summary progress report, the person responsible is the project planner. And for this executive summary, the project planner is the person responsible to do, and he will get the verification by the site agent or the M&E manager and also the construction manager before it is finally approved by the project manager. The photos for the project report is responsible by the project planner, which then he needs to give the information to the site QS. And the material submission progress report, the work method statement summary progress report, the master drawing list progress report, all is for the progress report, including the master drawing list, shop drawing list. The request information summary is for the progress report is the responsible of the project planner. Normally, the project planner is responsible to do the progress report for most of the organization in the construction company. And the weather chart for the site notice board, normally at the site there we put a site notice board, and the information that can be put in the site notice board is such as the weather and also the manpower chart, item A58 and A59. And the person responsible for this is the safety site supervisor, the triple S, and also the site supervisor, and also the M&E site supervisor. Still in the ISO 9001, the last slide for ISO 9001 is, again, here is the machinery chart for the notice board. The site supervisors, triple S, and the M&E site supervisor is responsible, and the project planner is kept in the loop for info. Fortnightly safety statistic for progress report, the person in charge will be the safety team, which is the responsible will be by the triple S safety officer, and it will need to be verified by the safety manager. The general workers work summary will be done by all the senior site supervisor and also the safety officer and the triple S along with M&E site supervisor. And this information will be distributed to the project planner and the QS. This is the general workers work summary. What is the construction work general worker been doing bi-weekly? So normally this is when they want to close the concard or the work timesheet for every mid of the month or for every 15 days. So these are the person responsible, and the verification need to be done by the site agent or the construction manager, and project manager is keep in the loop as for info. The equipment calibration report compilation and file will be the responsible of the project engineer or the KAQC engineer, such as equipment calibration for the survey equipment or the any testing equipment. So the land surveyor also will be responsible. LS is land surveyor. Next is the project risk register. The construction manager and the project manager is the person who will be responsible to update the project risk register throughout the project, and the project director will be the person to approve. And this project risk register is reviewed bi-weekly. The subcon material supplier procurement schedule monitoring will be done by the QS, and also the responsible by the construction manager and the project manager. The project director will be keep in the loop as info. So these are the first part for the ISO 9001. We have the second section. This is the ISO 14001 documentation matrix of responsibility. ISO 4001 is the environmental management system, the EMS. This is a typical document that is required for the compliance of the ISO 14001. The first document that is listed here is the Workers' Environmental Policy and Legal Induction Attendance. This is the induction cost for the workers for the environment requirement. So the person responsible is the triple S and the safety officer, SHO. This attendance will be verified by the safety manager. The managers such as M&E manager, construction manager and project manager will be kept in the loop as informed. The workers' environmental related training attendance record, this is also the same. And the staff environmental policy and legal induction attendance record, also the same. And other the training attendance record is the person in charge is the safety department team. And the safety environmental talk during toolbox meeting, the person who will give the toolbox talk will be the site safety supervisor or the safety officer or the safety manager. The person who will in charge for the meeting minutes for the environmental committee meeting will be the safety officer. This minute will be verified by the safety manager, and the project manager will approve the minutes, and the rest of the team such as project director, construction manager and M&E manager is kept in the loop as info. The sidewalk, environmental sidewalk attendance will be the person who will be responsible to conduct the sidewalk will be the safety department to ensure that all the subcontractors or the site staff who are responsible for each zone or section to come for this sidewalk environmental for the environmental monitoring. This will be done weekly. And next, we will have the environmental observation report. This is a notice report for any environmental issue will be issued to the subcon, and the person responsible again, the triple S or the SHO, and the report, observation report to be verified by the safety manager before issuance. And the violation notice or the NCR on any environmental issue, also the same. It will be done by the safety triple S or the SHO, and we will be verified by the safety manager before approved by the project manager. All the required report for environmental such as the noise monitoring, the vibration monitoring report, the air monitoring report, the water quality monitoring report, along with the internal audit report and attendance list. It will be person in charge by the safety department. The safety officer will be in charge, verified by the safety manager, and approved by the project manager. The notification to the board of director for any environmental management system issue which need to be done monthly will be done by the project manager, and the project director will be kept in the loop as info. The safety plan, including of the emergency response plan document, along with the AMS plan document filed at site, it will be done by the safety officer, verified by the safety manager, and the project manager will approve the document. And a copy of this document, AMS plan document, will be given to DCC or admin for filing. Next, the environmental control report with photos against either triple S or the SHO will prepare the report, person responsible, verified by the safety manager, and approved by the project manager. CM and M&E manager will be kept in the loop as info. The third section will be the ISO 18001 documentation metric of responsibility. ISO 18001 is the occupational health and safety document compliance. We have here item C1, almost similar to the environmental. We have the induction attendance record. This will be recorded by the triple S and or the safety officer and verified by the safety manager. The same with other attendance record such as workers' salary related training, the site safety policy legal induction attendance record, and any related site safety related training attendance record, or the toolbox meeting attendance records. As triple S and SO responsible, the safety manager is to verify. The safety site walk, which is done normally every 2 weeks, and also normally done together with the environmental site monitoring site walk. It will be conducted by triple S and SHO and the safety manager, and to include all the other projects site staff member, including the subcontractor. Any safety ovation or safety violation notice need to issue to contractor. Either triple S or SHO will be issued, verified by the safety manager, and approved by the project manager. Next, regarding to report, this is done at the frequency as mentioned here. All this report, including the safety plan and the safely monthly report with photos submission to the JKKP, this or DOSH, Department of Safety and Health, it will be done by the triple S as shown here and verified by the safety manager, and finally approved by the project manager. Besides that, still in the safety part, any of the PPE issuance will be done by the safety site supervisors and by the safety officer. The checklist that is required to be done either by monthly or weekly, including the safety inspection checklist, the safety compliance checklist, the electrical equipment checklist, along with any other site machinery checklist, maintenance checklist, including the scaffolding erection checklist, and the workers camp checklist. It will be done with either weekly or monthly. The frequency will follow to what is the safety mentioned in the safety environmental or the environmental plan. Will be conducted by triple S or SHO and verified by the safety manager. Next, for any works to be night work permits required, which is need to be done daily, All any of the supervisor, either the MNE supervisor, triple S, or the ASHO, or the civil or architecture site supervisor can issue the network permit, and this network permit need to be verified by the site agent or the MNE manager or the construction manager before it is finally approved by the project manager for the execution. It is also include the hot work permits and the confined space permit. This will be issued by any of the supervisors and approved by either verified by the safety manager, the construction manager, or the M&E manager, and finally approved by the project manager. When it's mentioned here as verified, when there is certain, the supervisor will need to prepare the permit and get the person, the manager in charge for that area or the job scope to verify and finally get the final approval from the project manager. Next, we have the security standard operating procedure document, including the security guard time card summary and the security clocking data record. Will be having their own frequency update, and the person in charge will be the triple S and the safety officer, and verified by the safety manager before it is approved by the project manager. The last section, we have the bonus section here for our viewers, is the administrative documentation metric of responsibility. This is the normal any corporation or company is having this at their project site. For a normal construction company, these are the administrative document that need to be done. So we have a courtesy here to show who is the person responsible. Although this is not related to the ISO documentation, however, this is a common documentation that needs to be identified, and we also need to identify who is the responsible party. The first is the staff monthly attendance summary time card, or the staff monthly sick leave summary, including the staff monthly leave planning summary, and also the general worker summary. The person responsible will be the DCC and admin to prepare the summary. Get the approval, the verification from the manager, either the safety manager or the site agent or the M&E manager, construction manager, and finally approved by the project manager. Over here also we have the stationery issue record, the site office utility bill request, the petty cash claim payment request, site office and client office material request. Normally the client office is also under the maintenance by the main contractor, and the pantry material request, the staff house rental and utility bill payment request, and also the staff house miscellaneous payment request. And along with the project material delivery notes, this is other than the just the construction delivery note, but whatever, including the site office material delivery note, whatever the equipment or the material required for the site office. And finally, we have a service note. For example, this is a service note for the photocopier machine, or the service note for any of the equipment that required servicing in the site office, including the plotter or the printer. So these are all the service note that need the responsibility we goes. The responsible will be by the DC or admin at site, and need to be verified by the manager. And all this original copy of DO will be sent to HQ. So these are all the documents that is required, and I have briefly explained to all on who is the responsible person who is the person who do the verification and finally get the approval, and for the filing, and who are the person who will be responsible for the info. So for this, all this entire document, as we mentioned earlier, this responsibility matrix that we have presented need to be reviewed by the project manager. So as a suggestion, I would suggest that the project manager will have a staff meeting to review this responsible metric. And during this staff meeting, all the respective site staff will report to the project manager based on this responsibility matrix. One by one, the item the site staff will be reporting during the staff meeting to the project manager. So as for my advice, I would advise the project manager to conduct a weekly staff meeting, which normally is suitable to be done on Saturday, because it's the end of the week. On Saturday, where most of the construction company is working, the site staff is working, and on Saturday, they have this responsibility matrix meeting to go through this responsibility metric. The project manager must not wait too long to review this responsibility metric, and the project manager must not wait too long to make sure that the documentation is done when the project is done. So as an advice, the project manager can do a weekly staff meeting to go through this responsibility metric. Although all this document may not start at the same time, may not be required at the same time at the early of the project, but since the beginning, it is advisable for the project manager to start do it slowly, this meeting, this responsibility matrix meeting, so that when the paperwork is more, everyone already have all the site staff already warm up and know what they're supposed to do. So the first beginning will be very difficult, but after some time it will be easy for them. So I would like to say thank you for all the viewers who have spent their time to review this video. So if we from HSC Engineering Sdn Bhd are delighted to provide such training course, and if you like this video, you can check out our Facebook page here as shown below, and also you can check us out at YouTube, where we have our YouTube channel, which is HSC ESB Project Management. So thank you guys. We will continue to produce a similar video for the benefits of the construction industry. Thank you.